What's up, foodies? Today we are going to make a maple bacon cheddar cornbread, or as I would like to call it, Canadian cornbread. So let's get into it. Alright foodies, first we're going to start by making a brown butter. Let's place a 9-inch pan on a medium heat. This is going to be the pan I'm going to cook my cornbread in. I am using carbon steel. You can use cast iron or a non-stick pan. I find that carbon steel and cast iron give you a better crust on the cornbread. Let's add 125 grams or half a cup of butter to the pan and let it melt. We are slowly going to cook the butter until it turns a golden color. Do this on a medium heat, as if you try to do this fast, you could burn the butter. This is like making caramel. It's going to take a while, but once it starts to brown, it's going to happen fast, so be ready to remove it from the heat. Okay, our brown butter is done. This is what it should look like in color. Now let's place this aside. We are going to add 1 cup or 175 grams of all-purpose flour to a mixing bowl. Then follow that up with 1 cup or 150 grams of cornmeal. Now let's whisk this together. As the great Joshua Weissman would say, give it some whiskey business. Now add in 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of salt and 3 teaspoons or 12 grams of baking powder. And let's give that another whisk. Now, if you stopped here, you would have regular cornbread, but we're going to up this a bit by adding in 1 cup or 130 grams of bacon and 1.5 cups or 125 grams of cheddar cheese. Now give this a good mix to make sure it's well combined, and then we're going to place this aside. To a bowl, we are going to add 1.5 cups or 375 ml of buttermilk. If you don't have any buttermilk, you can substitute milk with a tablespoon of vinegar added to it. This will increase the acidic level of the milk, making it more like a buttermilk. And to your buttermilk, we're going to pour in half a cup of maple syrup or 125 ml and 2 whole eggs. Now let's add in the brown butter we made earlier. Now give everything a whisk, realizing you chose a bowl too small, but you're going to power through it anyways. Now pour our buttermilk mixture into our dry ingredients and mix until it's well combined. Using our pan we browned our butter in, let's pour our mixture into the pan and place into a 400-degree oven for 20 to 30 minutes, or until golden, and the internal temperature reads 195 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 degrees Celsius. Once the cornbread is done, we're going to remove from the oven. We're going to let it sit for 15 minutes to cool. Using a butter knife, go around the cornbread to make sure the sides release from the pan. There we go. We need to cool this on a rack so it keeps the crust nice and crispy. Using a pan or a cutting board, place on top of the cornbread. With confidence, flip it over and remove the pan. Now the cornbread's going to be upside down, so doing the same with the cooling rack, flip it over and let it cool. Give it a nice brush of melted butter and some flaky salt as we wait for it to cool. Alright, it's cooled down. Let's place this on a cutting board and give it a cut in half, and let's see that beautiful cross section. Continue to cut into 8 sections and plate it up. You can pour some maple syrup over the top, or eat it just as it is. Let's give this bad boy a try. Here's our cornbread. Let's give it a little bite. That is tasty. A little bit of the maple, the bacon, got on my face. This is an awesome recipe. Like I said, it's a Canadian take on a cornbread, or like I said, I like to call it Canadian cornbread. Make sure you give it a try, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and until next time, FOOD-DEE out. Bit of maple syrup.